New Journal and Guide. Subscribe today.
Community to keep things under the sheet. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to own up to it. We don't want to fess up to it, And as long as a sore is covered up, it's going to stay a sore. What is it, if I understand you correctly, what is it that makes us like that?
Well, I'll start off. I know a lot of times it's the community where you're raised, who were raised around and who are around kind of influence how we are and the way that we are. So if it's in your community that no one has a father or everyone doesn't have enough to eat or, people are going without, then it just becomes the norm and then it's just whatever, we just don't talk about it. And like we said earlier, it's that emotional piece. It's hard for us to deal with our emotions. So that's the thing also that we need, like he was saying, that we need to be able to deal with those emotions so that we can get past these things and get to some solutions, because that's what I like, is finding solutions to stuff. But we can talk about stuff all day long. But if we don't get towards some solutions, how can we get past whatever we're going through?
Sometimes we cover things up because we know no other way. And we put up our guards. And we want to act as if we know or we got a handle on it. But the fact is you may not know how to deal with it. But today we have so much knowledge right at our hands. You can get on the internet and find out almost anything you need to know. Back then, a lot of people, they were reading books on how to raise children, how to do this, prepare for a new baby, all of that. Well, back then, our people weren't able to read. They weren't allowed to read. Nevertheless, they communicated with one another where they were. And today, we just got to kind of huddle. Pull the family back in and huddle with one another. And then if you don't know, you ask somebody else. And you get the exposure. They got a lot of conferences, workshops, and everything going on. You find out where it is. And you say, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. I'm one of those people. If I don't know right now, I will know tomorrow because I'm going to research it to find out.
Sometimes when you're trying to come up, which is what we were trying to do for so long, come up, and we were so busy trying to come up that I think that we were trying to not occur any more stigmas than what we already had. So we want to keep this in the house, keep this, the black community was segregated. We want to keep this in the community because we didn't want the others to have another opinion of us. It's so clear even today when I look at the educational process of special education, your counties and those more affluent European forms of communities, they work to get their kids into special ed because in the future they'll have more support in college. They're forcing kids into special ed who are making A's and B's in math and science, making A's and B's in all areas, making all A's in all areas, but may have a B in mathematics. And they go and argue down to get their child the additional support that they need. On the other side of the table, you bring those same kids coming to the other communities. It's such a stigma for us that our parents don't want the help for even a child who qualifies as severely and desperately needs the support because we historically have been stigmatized so much that support, we can't bear one more thing being said about our child or our families.
I agree with everything that's been said thus far, and I want to add to what's been said as well, that I think we're missing. Another one is pride. Pride and poor communication is big. A lot of people have feelings and don't know how to express them. That's why I'm a passionate writer, because I have a voice for a lot of people that try to say stuff that they can't say. And they're like, I've been trying to say that for years. So poor communication and lack of a vocabulary is also a factor in this, because some people cannot express themselves because of the lack of the vocabulary or a way to express or communicate a thought, which I find interesting that 1 out of every 4 males in jail can't read. That can be frustrating. to have thoughts and views, and we wonder why we yell when we argue, because we're trying to force someone to adopt our thoughts and our principles and our views, but we're having a hard time to translate those thoughts, and lack of critical thinking. I love what she said, that they lack experience, and to bring what she said home. If we have a sense of normalcy, everything that we're doing is normal, we don't think that it's wrong. So that lack of exposure and seeing different cultures and seeing different things keeps you from starting to think that, hey, maybe my way is not the right way. Just like this young lady said, all her life seeing her mom being abused and all that stuff, she started thinking that that is the way a relationship is supposed to be. That's how a man is supposed to be treating her. So we adopt these things based on what we experience and see, and we assume that that is the norm or that is correct. So lack of exposure, like I said, poor communication or vocabulary, lack of critical thinking, and definitely pride, along with everything else that has been said.
This production has been brought to you by Image Entertainment.